includes the cover, body, rotors, and seals. In the maintenance of pumps, it's important to recognize when parts are worn excessively. Detecting wear in the early stages will allow you to repair your pump with a minimum cost and downtime. Periodic cleaning and a simple look-feel inspection of your pump are recommended. Waukesha recommends changing the oil every 500 operating hours. The bearings must be greased every 250 operating hours. If the pump is installed where moisture and condensation are heavy, lubrication should be made more frequently. Excess grease will accumulate in the bearing housing and can be removed through the cleanout hole covered with the plastic plug. Before working on your Waukesha pump, shut off the power and lockout controls. In addition, isolation valves should be closed and the inlet discharge lines should be disconnected. Wing nuts, using a soft hammer to loosen them. Avoid using metal hammers, as this will result in damage to the pump parts. Next, remove the cover. If it's stuck, loosen it with a soft hammer, but do not use screwdrivers or other hard objects. When the cover is loose, remove it from the body stud and extremely close tolerances. Place the cover on a rubber mat or face up on the floor or bench. This will help avoid nicks and scratches on the cover face. Remove the cover O-ring and discard. Use the rotor nut and rotor nut wrench to locate the rotors perpendicular to each other. The rotor timing should now be checked. Clearances on both sides, wingtip to wingtip, must be equal. Remove 2 rotor retaining nuts using the special wrench supplied with the pump and hit it sharply with a soft hammer to loosen the nuts. Use the remaining nut and wrench to orient the rotors perpendicular to each other and remove the rotor with both wings exposed first. If the rotors cannot be removed by hand, use a soft hammer and tap on the ports of the body. Remove the rotors and body part way off the studs. Tap the body back. At this point, the rotors can usually be removed by hand or with a hard wood or plastic lever. Do not use a screwdriver or other hard objects. In extreme cases, a gear puller may be required. If so, apply the puller at the points indicated and use a mill file to remove all raised areas made by the puller. After removal, place the rotors on a rubber mat or place the rotors hub down to avoid damage to the rotor wings and hub outside diameter. Remove the pump body by pulling it straight off the body studs. Use a soft hammer and tap on the ports if the body is stuck. Again, place the body on a rubber mat. Use caution with mechanical seals and avoid dropping them. Check the rotor wings for indications of metal-to-metal contact. If this condition exists, the pump should be repaired or replaced. Generally, this contact is caused by either a twisted shaft or loose, worn, or mistimed gears. The rotor and shaft spline should be inspected for excessive wear and replaced if worn. Spline wear is commonly caused by a rotor running loose for extended periods. Check the rotor end which locks against the shaft shoulder and shaft shoulder for signs of wear. If this area is worn, a common cause may be extended running with a loose rotor retaining nut or daily disassembly and slamming the rotor in place on reassembly. If worn, it should be replaced or the shaft should be re-shimmed to maintain the proper back face clearance. The bearing condition should be checked whenever the pump is disassembled. The bearings are failing and should be replaced when movement of either shaft can be detected at the interface of the shaft and the grease seal. Movement can be detected when hand loading the rotor end of the shaft to approximately 30 pounds of force. Gear backlash is excessive if there's any free movement when rotating either shaft without transmitting motion to the other shaft. Report this condition to the maintenance supervisor. As the wear on the gears is at 180 degrees, redo the backlash check 2 times at 60-degree intervals. Generally, the cause for excessive backlash is due to loose or worn gears. All fluid head parts should be cleaned and inspected. Raised nicks and scratches should be removed by using a mill file. The interfaces between the body and the bearing housing control the front and back face rotor clearances, and therefore need to be maintained in a clean and flat condition. Your Waukesha Universal Series pump will accept a variety of product seal arrangements. The single O-ring seal type is simple and inexpensive and is made up of 3 parts for each shaft: the shaft O-ring, body O-ring, and stainless steel sleeve. The body O-ring may be removed by using the special O-ring tool. The O-ring groove should now be checked for damage as well as product or foreign matter. Install a new O-ring as shown, using an approved O-ring lubricant. After removal of the shaft O-ring, clean and inspect the shaft O-ring grooves. Apply O-ring lubricant and install a new O-ring in the shaft grooves, being careful not to cut the O-ring on the spline or shaft shoulder. Use the forward shaft O-ring groove when using the O-ring seal arrangement. The purpose of using this forward O-ring seal location is that it limits product migration under a limited portion of the sleeve. This facilitates easier disassembly of the sleeve on the next cleanup cycle. After cleaning both stainless steel sleeves, inspect for wear, nicks, and scratches. If worn excessively, the sleeve can be assembled to make use of 2 wear surfaces. Apply O-ring lubricants to the inside diameter of the sleeve and install on the shaft, being careful to engage the drive pin into the spaces in the sleeve. Rotating the sleeve until prongs engage against the drive pin will ensure proper assembly. The double O-ring seal arrangement is primarily the same, except a carrier is utilized to handle the second body O-ring. The carrier also has an O-ring to seal between the carrier and the body. Apply an O-ring lubricant to the O-rings and install in the carrier. Install the carrier on the body, being careful to engage the slot in the carrier onto the square pin in the pump body, forcing the carrier toward the pin, and then forcing the assembly straight down to ensure proper assembly. The Waukesha Universal Series of pumps also accepts single and double mechanical seals. The single mechanical seal consists of 5 components: shaft O-ring, body O-ring, wave spring, inner seal, and seal seat. All seal components must be handled with extreme care. Remove the seals from the body, clean and inspect them. Do not reuse if the seal face is scratched, chipped, or cracked. Remove the body O-ring and discard. Remove the seal seats and the shaft O-ring. The shaft O-ring should be replaced and the seat cleaned and inspected thoroughly. Do not reuse the seats if they're cracked, chipped, scratched, or grooved. Lubricate the new O-ring and install, taking care not to cut it while passing over sharp edges. Relubricate and install seal seats, being sure to line up the groove on the rear face with the drive pin on the shaft. Lubricate the face of the seat. Lubricate and insert new O-rings in the body grooves. Assemble the wave spring on the seal and install into the pump body, engaging the square pin located in the pump body. Again, lubricate the seal faces. The double mechanical seal consists of the single mechanical seal components with the addition of 2 added components: outer seal and O-ring. Apply lubricant to the new O-ring for this outer seal and assemble on the seals. Insert seal assembly into the body, engaging the notch with the pin, forcing the outer seal toward the pin in the body, and then forcing the assembly straight down. To assemble the liquid end of the pump, the body is placed over the shafts and studs, being careful that the seal components are not nicked or knocked out of place. Press the body firmly against the housing, engaging the dowels. Assemble the rotor onto the shaft, engaging the large spline tooth with a large groove in the rotor. Using a nut on this shaft and using the special wrench, rotate the shaft until the rotor wings are in a vertical position. Install the second rotor and secure both rotors using the double rotor retaining nuts. Each of the retaining nuts should be tightened using a special wrench and hitting the wrench handle sharply a few times with a soft hammer. In addition to the standard twin-blade rotor, Waukesha offers a single-blade rotor for use when pumping large particulates. Hold or secure the body in place against the bearing housing and check for proper rotor seating. The rotor wing must be below the body face and can be felt with the fingers or thumb. Install a new O-ring in the cover groove. Stretching of this O-ring often helps it to fit freely into the cover groove. Mount the cover on the studs and push it against the body, being sure the O-ring remains in the groove. Install the wing nuts to the studs and tap each nut with a soft hammer. Waukesha offers as a standard option relief covers and jacketed covers used to maintain product temperatures.